I'll be back.
What?
Terminator Genisys was not nearly as bad as I was expecting. I had avoided this one when it first came out because so many people told me they hated it. I thought, what's the point? But watching this now for the first time, I found it to be a well-produced film with good action and in keeping with the series. I think the big problem everyone has with this movie is the way it messes with the overall Terminator timeline, but I'm actually okay with that. What's the point in making a time travel movie if you're not going to have some of the characters actually travel through time, and there are consequences to that? And I appreciate that Terminator Genisys finally shows us the time machines used in this universe. Listen, I was on board with this movie for the first hour. It starts both as a sequel to the last film and a prequel to the first, with John Connor sending Kyle Reese back in time to protect Sarah Connor in 1984 Los Angeles. But when he gets there, Reese finds things are not as expected because, of course, the machines have traveled a little further back in time to take out Sarah Connor as a child, thus changing the timeline. I think this is a great premise for a Terminator film, and there are parts of this movie that basically remake scenes from the original, which I loved. Where Genisys goes wrong, I think, is when our heroes travel forward to the now alternate 2017, which is a new somewhat arbitrary date for Judgment Day, and it's not really explained why the missiles didn't fly back in the 90s as expected. And this time around, Skynet is going to get at us through our phones using a new all-in-one AI app called Genisys. This story thread seems a bit ahead of its time now, 10 years later in the age of AI, but here it's really just used as a spend less time on your phone message that is lost in all the other exposition, because the plot at this point becomes super convoluted and hard to follow, and this film basically devolves into a CGI slugfest, which is pretty typical for this era of Hollywood. I don't like who ends up becoming the villain in this movie, but I found Genisys to be one of the funniest Terminator films I've watched this month. I also loved Arnold as the grumpy old man Terminator. I want to see more of that guy. Anyway, just one more Terminator movie to go. Is it better or worse than this one? I have no idea. See you at the movies.